William, can you see my slideshow? Okay.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's virtual information session sponsored by Davidson-Davie Community College. My name is William Pass and I am a college recruiter and an admissions counselor at the college. Some housekeeping tasks. Please be reminded that tonight's information session is being broadcast live via Zoom and on Facebook, and it is also being recorded for future review of the broadcast. Tonight's information session will highlight the Davidson-Davie Community College Sustainable Agricultural Program, which is a new program that we recently started. We're starting up this upcoming fall. We're asking that you post all your questions in the chat box, and at the conclusion of the presentation, we will answer each and every one of your questions. We are so pleased to have with us tonight Mr. Aaron Brewer, who is going to spearhead this program for us starting this fall. Very happy to have him. He's going to explain to us about the program, answer any questions that you may have. And I want to go ahead and also be ahead of the time and say a early happy birthday to Aaron, whose birthday will be coming up soon. So with no further ado, I will introduce you and turn it over to Mr. Aaron Brewer.
Thank you, William. Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about the new Sustainable Agriculture Program at the community college. It is an Associate of Science program. So basically, if we look at it right here, basically what we're going to talk about, I'm going to paraphrase this. I'm looking down at the bottom. We're going to talk about agroecology. So, how we can incorporate your farm, your operation, whatever it may look like. You want it to be like nature. You want it to be self-sustaining. We're going to talk crop and soil science. We're going to look at the physical and the chemical properties of the soil. We're going to study insects, entomology, how to, combat pests. Not only, a lot of people, they're doing a chemical approach. We're trying to go more biological or like a physical approach. We're going to study horticulture, study plant science, animal science, weed science and management, soil fertility, nutrient cycling, applied ecology, ag economics, how to be, manage your operations successfully. Rangeland ecology and watershed management. A couple of jobs that people, may be able to get fulfilling this program. They could, work at a feed store. They could work at an ag supply. They could work, at a farm, whatever that may be. They could do wholesale and resale produce management, nursery operation. They could also do some ag education. So it's very broad. It's very open. What you could do with this. It's a good thing. I think, it's a good bang for your buck. If I were in high school or, younger, I would definitely go through this program. So what is sustainable ag? Definition says, it's developing crop and livestock systems that are like nature. We want that to be self-sustaining. So, for instance, if you have chickens, instead of feeding your chickens every day, you could let them go out and they could just, fend for themselves, go through the grass, eat the invertebrates, etc. Or like now they're letting chickens go behind cows and they're eating the fly larvae in the cow patties. So that's kind of what we're going through, like a holistic approach. Courses we're going to go through. Your first fall, you're going to have English. That's with any other class, your general ed. I'm going to really speak with you about the ag classes. So the first one's going to be AGR 139. That's Intro to Sustainable Ag. That is a 3-hour credit class that does not have a lab. That's going to be a solid lecture class. We're going to look at the history of sustainable ag, the economic importance, the social importance of it, and we're really going to dissect that and see, what all that is. Then we're going to have AGR 111. That's going to be the second 8 weeks. That is ag mechanics if you've taken that class in high school. So basically in this course, it is a 2-hour course along with I believe it's a 1-hour lab, maybe 2-hour lab. But you're going to learn how to weld. You're going to learn how to wire up receptacles. You're going to learn how to do some framing. You're going to learn some basic plumbing, some basic concrete skills. You're going to do some basic engine maintenance. So just a well-rounded class, even if you're not going to, be on a huge farm, you still need to learn how to fix stuff because, if you're doing this on your own, fixing it costs money. Then we jump down to animal science. In that class, we're going to look at breeds of livestock. We're going to look at reproduction practices of livestock, feeds, digestive systems, diseases, pests, etc. That is a 3-hour credit class as well. That is a sole lecture, and that's the first 8 weeks as well. Then we jump into the spring semester, Animal Science 111, Sustainable Livestock Management. How can we manage livestock sustainably? And that could look like a variety of different things, based on your operation. So you're just trying to, incorporate, be as thrifty as possible when you're raising these livestock. Next, we have AGR 160, that's plant science. Horticulture, that's basically horticulture. So we're looking at the physiological of plants, and basically how they grow, what they do, etc. Pretty straightforward stuff. AGR 220 is ag mechanization. We're going to back up. I don't know how far we'll go, but we're going to look at how agriculture has changed throughout history. You go back 600 years ago, it was very limited on as far as mechanization. Now there's planters, there's drills, it's very, very diverse now. So we'll dissect all that information. AGR 263, that is a spring course. I think that's the second spring, 8 weeks. We're actually going to grow vegetables. We've been given a plot of land, and in my vision, we're gonna plow it up, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna work the land, and we're gonna have a big vegetable garden. So that class, mainly, you will be learning how to grow vegetables, and we'll start with some cool season stuff, and then towards the end of the semester, we'll be incorporating some warm season vegetables into that bed as well. During your first and second year, you will be required to do a work-based learning. I believe it's 25 hours per week working. You will be placed at an ag enterprise, whether it could be a seed store, it could be a vegetable producer throughout the county, it could be a dairy farm, it could be, it could be anywhere. And it's either paid or unpaid, depending on, the person that takes you. And like I said, you got to work a minimum of 25 hours. You're going to get 2 hours worth of credit. So you're getting work experience, and you're getting credit for your degree. So that's a no-brainer right there. Second fall, ag law and finance. We're going to talk various laws that deal with agriculture throughout the country. And then finance, we're going to look at, you have to be financially responsible, especially if you're doing this on your own, and this is your only source of income. You need to make sure you have good books, etc. AGR 160 is soil science. We're going to look at the chemical and the physical structure of soil and how that works. Without healthy soils, you will not have healthy plants. So soil is very, very important. AGR 121, biological pest management. So we're going to look here at, what living organism can we use to control a pest? So the example I always give is, in a greenhouse, you can let go ladybugs, and they will take care of aphids. They'll take care of whiteflies, thrips. They will just go in there and they will just eat all these horticultural pests, and you don't have to spray. So that's a good thing. You're not applying as many pesticides, and, you have an ecosystem within your greenhouse. AGR 214 is ag marketing. So basically, how can you market your crop better, or your livestock, whatever you may be selling? I feel like, in general, typically producers are great at growing their product, but they're not the best at marketing. And with this class, we want you to be successful in, creating a name for yourself, and, getting your product out there. In the spring, we have organic crop production. We're actually going to go through the USDA organic crop guidelines. You will not get certified unless you had land that you're already on and you want to. But we're not going to offer that. It's basically going to be, here's the guidelines that the federal government has deemed necessary for organic. We're going to go through that, the do's and don'ts. Pretty straightforward. AGR 212 is farm business management. Here you're going to create a farm business management plan, and it's pretty much like a business plan. You're gonna present this, and you're going to create what you would do throughout the year. and go from there. AGR 263 is permaculture. A brief definition on that is everything grows together. It works together. It's nature itself. It's permanent agriculture. All right. And you have different systems that are all colliding together, and they're just all working together as gears to get the job done. That's the best I can explain that class. The last two are going to be plant-based. So Hort 168 is plant propagation. We're going to look at different propagation techniques, whether it's sexual or asexual. We're going to do grafting. We're going to do air layering, tip layering, simple cuttings. We'll do sexual reproduction, planting seeds. And then the last class is Hort 134, greenhouse operations. You're going to learn how to operate a greenhouse. We are supposed to get a greenhouse here on campus, and you guys will actually be running that. We are going to do a plant sale, and we're going to pump out a lot of vegetables and things in this greenhouse. So you guys will actually be the ones operating that. So why is sustainable important? The main thing, we want to conserve the environment and lower pollution. Now I know everyone, you're still going to offer some pollution. I mean, no one's perfect, but we want to do a little better. So recycle some more stuff, use less, try and get the most bang for your buck. We also, if you look at sustainability in the little Venn diagram I have over there to the right, we want to be there in the middle. We want to reduce cost and focus on profits. So if you can get by without fertilizing your field and incorporating a manure, for instance, and you're getting the same nutrients for your soil, all right, do that instead of buying, $400 or $500 worth of fertilizer, do that. And then the last thing, we want to improve food production without being wasteful. That's a big thing. I know me personally, I feel like at my house, we throw a lot of stuff away. We buy it, we think we're going to cook it or use it, and then we end up, a week or two later, it ends up going bad. So I'm bad about that as well. But we want to, not be wasteful because, the population is getting larger. We've got to be a little smarter as how we produce our food. So I'm going to look at some cost comparisons here. Davidson-Davie is about $5,100 a year, yes. So that's for your 2 years, excuse me. If we look at some of the schools, I went to NC State. I liked NC State. If they would have had this when I was coming out of high school or, wanting to learn more about alg, I definitely would have jumped on this because $5,100 is a whole lot better than $18,000. And that's not including room and board. So I know my apartment when I lived, I probably paid $600 or $700 a month plus food. So it definitely adds up. So it's a good bang for your buck. You can look at some of the other schools. Catawba, 61,000. High Point University, that is a private school, so it's a little more, but 72,000. So you're really getting a good education for the price. Other advantages, we have very friendly faculty and staff, smaller class sizes. I think the goal for the ag program here is about 24 students. So that'll be good. Very, very hands-on. We're going to do a lot, as far as like getting out there and, modeling the stuff. There's various clubs and organizations on campus, exceptional international initiatives. I know some of the courses we're going to try and make a global course. So that'll be a good thing. There's study abroad programs and then student support services as well on campus. And then William, do you want to talk about
Sure.
As far as getting in right here?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you for even with the cost comparison, because I was going to ask you, one question that came up in our chat was if somebody wanted to pursue, say, the bachelor's level, after obtaining an associate's degree in sustainable agriculture, what type of curriculums or programs would they be seeking at the bachelor's level? Just a few examples.
So this this program currently, I believe we're still working on it. I don't think it's set 100% in stone, but we're trying to get where it will articulate into A&T. They're going to take, so this course is 65 credit hours, and they've agreed to take 64 of those credit hours to their 4-year program in Ag Ed. So you could get a Ag Ed degree or an Ag Services degree at A&T.
Great. And that kind of ties, yeah, that does. And as far as with the comparison, one thing that we try to stress for a lot of students, if you're not academically ready, emotionally ready, or financially ready to leave high school to go directly to the four-year school, say if you were looking to do the agricultural education program at A&T, but you financially couldn't afford it or whatever. This is another means that get your foot in the door. And as Aaron said, it's a much less expensive way where you can get those first 2 years out the way, knowing that, like you say, 64 out of 65 credits are going to transfer over. So you can still obtain the training, the education that you need at the community college level. Whereas when you do finish at the community college with your associate's degree, you'll basically be entering A&T or whatever institution that you're going to as a junior, rising junior, but at a much less cost with $5,100 for those 2-year period versus paying $10,000 or more. So that's a great comparison right there. But the steps through the community college, if you're very much interested, you basically have to first complete your residency determination. You'll need to basically complete it if it's a student, high school student. It'll be information that you'll need to submit. You'll need some information from your parent or guardian as well. What this does will determine you as being a North Carolina in-state resident. You'd want to have that in-state tuition cost. You don't want to be charged as an out-of-state student. So from the information that you submit on this application, it will determine you to being an in-state student. Once that's done, you'll be given a residency determination number. You'll need that number because the next step when you go on our Davidson-Davie Community College website to do the application, you will need that residency determination number to plug into the application in order for you to be able to complete that. Once you've completed that, our college admissions specialist will review your application, basically certify it. At that time, they will send you an email as well as mail you a packet kind of telling you congratulations on being accepted into the college. These are your next steps that you'll need to do, which will include completing your FOSFA application for financial aid, getting all your high school transcripts, or if you have other college credits or whatever, submitting all those to the school as well. Then there is a new student orientation. Since COVID, we basically reverted to using it online, doing a virtual new student orientation. It is around 3 hours, like 9 different modules that you need to complete. Basically, the do's and don'ts are involved with the community college. Once you complete that student orientation, it normally will trigger notification to our advisors, and our advisors will notify you, schedule a meeting for you to come in, talk about your curriculum, be able to register you for the classes. So that's kind of the steps that we go through with getting you actually enrolled and admitted at the community college level. Much less than with the four-year university. I know in some four-year universities, you may have to submit an essay, things along that line right there. That won't be required at the community college level. And once again, if you do have any questions, this is your contact information. If you want to contact admissions at davidsondavie.edu. If you have questions or need to contact somebody in advising, it'll be advise@davidsondavie.edu, or Mr. Aaron Brewers, this is his contact information as well. Something that we also like to throw out there for everyone at any time is, if you want more information or to actually see the area where you'll be actually taking your classes, to meet Aaron, get a feel for the campus life. Anytime it is possible for you to schedule a tour on our campus tour. You basically can go to our website. I believe it's under the admissions tab. You'll go down and it says schedule a tour. You click on that, you can complete the application, and one of our ambassadors will contact you, and we'll schedule a time and coordinate it with Aaron and everybody in his department for a time where you can come by and visit and be able to get all the questions that you may have answered. Okay. Aaron, I see another question here that I was thinking about as well, though. With the times that we're living in now, I know, again, I'm a little bit older. Everything used to be natural as far as the food and the feed or whatever that was given to animals, or that was done when you're growing your different gardens and everything.
Yeah.
Now it's so much stuff that you spray on it, or steroids and everything that you're giving to the chickens and the cows and everything. Do you see that continuing on, or do you see us actually being able to go back to the old natural way of
some stuff, like you said, the chickens, a lot of it's a misconception. I was at West Davidson yesterday and asked kids, would you buy hormone chicken or hormone-free chicken? You're going to the grocery store. And a kid said, I'm buying chicken. And then another kid said hormone-free. But, the USDA, this is for one of the classes, we'll go over this. The USDA says it's illegal to put growth hormones in chicken. So, when you go to the grocery store and you see like, a bird that says hormone-free, it's all the same. But I do think, I think people, they're more conscious about what they're eating, what's going in their body. I mean, you look at the supply chain now, I think more people are concerned with, how do I produce my own food? But I do think in the future, yes, I think still conventional ag is going to be very strong in terms of, feeding people, because it's only 2% feeding, our population. But I think a lot of people are being more conscious about what's in their food and, where it comes from. So I think to answer your question, yes, there will be less stuff. And at the end of the day, no one wants to spray. No one wants to put out, pesticides. You want to do the least amount as possible. At least my personal opinion, you do.
Great. Just for me, you've helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
I know this is a new program that was getting started, and I know a lot of people have been asking me, hey, can you tell me a little bit about this program? And I'm kind of like, let me just go on what Aaron has told me so far. So hearing it, seeing it from you really helps it out a lot for me to know even things like you have a portion in there where you're learning how to fix your equipment. I didn't think about that. It is important or whatever. You're going to have breakdowns or whatever. So to be able to know how to weld something back together or to be able to fix it, that's going to save you so much or whatever. I never thought about that. Was even thinking about people who may be even retiring or whatever, that may be looking for something to do. We have a lot of areas that's doing community gardens. This class will be perfect to kind of get a community garden started or whatever. Yeah. To be able to help
and
your local
going off of what you said, it's going to be I didn't say that, but it's going to be very hands-on. We're going to be doing as much, hands-on as possible, because a lot of the stuff is it's principles and it's theories, but you got to physically do the work to understand how to do it. So that's another good selling point as well.
That sounds great. Well, I do not see any other questions on here. Any ending comments that you'd like to say? I know I want to say, I want to encourage anyone who has even the slightest curiosity. Please, this is a upcoming program that's going to be outstanding. It's going to lead to, I think, a lot of employment opportunities for you. It's going to really, again, help our community as well. But again, well, Aaron, I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to share this information for us. We hope as the next semester comes on, we hope to be able to bring you back again and ask you again to give us some input on your class, or let us know how the class is going, or give us some information on how we can do better recruitment for your program as well. But we thank you again for taking time out of your evening. And for everyone who is joining us on Facebook as well as on our Zoom, we thank you for joining us on behalf of Davidson-Davie Community College. And we hope that everyone has a great evening and look forward to seeing you